Let's dive deeper into this gripping narrative of King Leopold II's brutal rule over the Congo Free State. The late 19th century was a time when European powers were embroiled in a frenzied race to establish their colonial dominance over Africa. This was the era of exploitation, where vast resources and people were seen as commodities to fuel the ambitions of the world's most powerful nations. In this tumultuous backdrop, King Leopold II of Belgium emerged as a shrewd and ambitious monarch, with eyes set on building his own immense wealth and consolidating his power. Leopold, with his keen intellect and cunning nature, recognized that Belgium needed to join the ranks of imperial powers with its own colony. However, his ambitions stretched far beyond mere economic gain. Deeply ingrained racism drove him to view African people as inherently inferior to their white counterparts. In his prejudiced perspective, Africans were perceived as incapable of governing themselves and in desperate need of European guidance to progress. This racist ideology would provide the twisted justification for the horrors that would soon unfold in the Congo. The Congo, a region known for its abundant natural resources, including rubber, ivory, and minerals, presented an enticing opportunity for Leopold's insatiable appetite for wealth and power. In 1876, he established the International African Association, cleverly masked as a philanthropic organization. This facade aimed to promote scientific research and humanitarianism in Africa. But in reality, it was a smokescreen for Leopold's ruthless colonial ambitions in the Congo. To execute his plans, Leopold recruited the famed explorer Henry Morton Stanley in 1879. Stanley embarked on a mission to explore and map the vast Congo River basin, but his true task was to secure control on behalf of Leopold. Through a series of treaties, many of them coercive, Stanley established Belgian dominance over the region. It was a cunning maneuver, which allowed Leopold to claim ownership of an enormous territory covering over 900,000 square miles. However, there was a cruel twist to this conquest. Leopold didn't regard the Congo Free State as a colony of Belgium. Instead, he deemed it his own personal estate. This sinister label, the Congo Free State, was a stark misrepresentation, given the horrors endured by its unfortunate inhabitants. Under Leopold's iron rule, the Congolese people were reduced to subjects in a twisted monarchy. Their lives became a never-ending nightmare, marked by forced labor, inhumane treatment, and relentless exploitation. Rubber became the kingpin of Leopold's economic aspirations, and to meet the relentless quotas, the Congolese were driven to work in rubber plantations under horrifying conditions. Failure to achieve these daily targets often led to brutal beatings, mutilations, or even death. Leopold's reign of terror extended its grip to other valuable resources like copper and diamonds, with profits funneling directly into his own pockets. Construction projects like the Matadi-Kinshasa Railway symbolized the depths of this brutality, where thousands of workers perished due to disease, starvation, and the excruciating working conditions. To maintain absolute control, Leopold employed a private army, infamous for its brutality, with soldiers perpetrating gruesome acts against Congolese men, women, and children. Agents of this reign of terror resorted to chilling tactics, from the dismemberment of those who failed to meet their quotas to the horrifying practice of holding family members hostage until quotas were met. As a master of manipulation, Leopold attempted to justify his heinous actions by portraying himself as a benevolent leader, seemingly bringing civilization and progress to a population he deemed backward and uncivilized. Yet, these justifications were nothing more than thinly veiled excuses for the horrors that transpired under his merciless rule. The world began to take notice of the atrocities, and reports of these brutalities reached the shores of Europe and the United States, eliciting waves of outrage and condemnation. This public outcry gave rise to the Congo Reform Association, a group of impassioned activists dedicated to putting an end to the suffering in the Congo. However, even in the face of mounting opposition and global condemnation, Leopold continued to cling to his narratives, with the veneer of benevolence thinly veiling the monstrous reality that was his rule over the Congo Free State. The story of King Leopold II and the horrors of his reign is a chilling testament to the depths of human cruelty and exploitation. It is a tale that demands not to be forgotten, a dark chapter in history that serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and the need for vigilance against the ever-present potential for such atrocities. Further explore the chilling narrative of King Leopold II's rule over the Congo Free State, a dark chapter that demands a deeper understanding. In the late 19th century, Europe was in the throes of a mad scramble for African territories. It was a frenetic era of imperialism. where the world's most powerful nations sought to expand their empires, driven by the voracious appetite for resources and wealth. In this era of colonial exploitation, King Leopold II of Belgium emerged as a formidable figure, his ambition matched only by his cunning. Leopold wasn't content with being the ruler of Belgium. He yearned for greater power and unimaginable wealth. As a shrewd monarch, he saw an opportunity in the colonization of Africa, recognizing the need for Belgium to have its own colony, akin to other European powers. However, what set him apart was his deep-seated racism, a belief that black Africans were inferior and needed European guidance to develop. This racist ideology would serve as the sinister justification for the atrocities that would soon engulf the Congo. The Congo, a region blessed with abundant natural resources, including rubber, ivory, and minerals, proved irresistible to Leopold's insatiable greed. In 1876, he established the International African Association, cleverly masked as a philanthropic organization promoting scientific research and humanitarianism in Africa. Behind the facade lay Leopold's sinister plan for colonial expansion in the Congo. To execute this agenda, he enlisted the renowned explorer Henry Morton Stanley in 1879. Stanley was sent to explore the vast Congo River basin, but his true mission was to secure Belgian dominance under Leopold's directive. Through a series of coercive treaties, Stanley established Belgian control over the region, paving the way for Leopold to claim ownership of an enormous territory encompassing over 900,000 square miles. However, there was a malevolent twist to this conquest. Leopold didn't see the Congo Free State as a colony of Belgium. He considered it his own personal estate. The term Congo Free State was a glaring misnomer, given the relentless horrors inflicted upon its hapless inhabitants. Under Leopold's oppressive rule, the Congolese people were reduced to mere subjects in a twisted monarchy. Their lives spiraled into an endless nightmare, marked by forced labor, inhumane treatment, and ruthless exploitation. Rubber emerged as the cornerstone of Leopold's economic ambitions, driving the Congolese to work in rubber plantations under unspeakable conditions. Those who failed to meet the daily rubber quotas faced brutal beatings, mutilations, or even death. Leopold's reign of terror extended its grip to other valuable resources, such as copper and diamonds. The profits from these resources flowed directly into his pockets. Construction projects like the Matadi-Kinshasa Railway symbolized the depths of this brutality, with thousands of workers succumbing to disease, starvation, and unbearable working conditions. To maintain an iron grip on power, Leopold employed a private army known for its brutality. These soldiers committed gruesome acts against Congolese men, women, and children. Leopold's agents employed terrifying tactics, from the dismemberment of those who failed to meet their quotas to the grim practice of holding family members hostage. Leopold's inhumanity wasn't confined to violence and exploitation. It encompassed much more. His agents introduced diseases like smallpox and sleeping sickness, further decimating the population. They systematically dismantled the social and economic fabric of Congolese society, erasing cultural traditions and compelling people to abandon their way of life. The scale of Leopold's brutality was so extreme that it's estimated up to 10 million people lost their lives due to his policies. This horrifying number represented approximately half of the Congo's population at the time. The harrowing tales of the Congo Free State's horrors began to emerge thanks to the relentless efforts of brave individuals. Among them were journalist Edmund Morel and missionary Roger Casement. Their unwavering work played a pivotal role in exposing the atrocities and contributing to the eventual end of Leopold's tyrannical rule. Edmund Morel, once a British shipping clerk, stumbled upon the exploitation in the Congo while working for a Liverpool-based trading company. He couldn't ignore the peculiar shipments arriving in Liverpool, loaded with ivory and rubber, yet returning to Africa devoid of any goods. He suspected the ships were being used for transporting slaves and embarked on a deeper investigation. Morel's discoveries unveiled the grim reality: the ships were transporting rubber and ivory obtained through forced labor. In response, he founded the Congo Reform Association in 1904, a pivotal organization in raising awareness and lobbying for change. Morel's efforts played a crucial role in turning public opinion against Leopold and his regime. Roger Casement, an Irish nationalist who had previously served the British government, was appointed as the British consul for the Congo Free State in 1901, tasked with investigating allegations of human rights abuses. He uncovered shocking evidence of widespread torture, mutilation, and murder. His findings were meticulously documented in a report now known as the Casement Report. This comprehensive account painted a harrowing picture of the conditions under which the Congolese people were subjected to live and work. Casement's report not only exposed the gruesome reality but also convinced the British government to take action. In 1908, the British government organized an international conference in Brussels, which marked the turning point. This conference spelled the end of Leopold's rule over the Congo Free State, with Belgium taking over the administration of the colony. However, it's crucial to remember that the suffering of the Congolese people did not end there. Belgian colonial rule continued to afflict the Congolese, and it wasn't until the mid-20th century that they finally achieved their hard-fought independence. Congolese activists, driven by an unwavering spirit, stood up against the shackles of slavery and oppression. Among them was Simon Kimbangu, a Congolese Christian preacher who founded the Kimbanguist Church in the early 20th century. Kimbangu used his pulpit to decry the oppression of the Congolese people. He paid a heavy price, arrested and imprisoned by the colonial authorities until his death in 1951. Another luminary figure in Congolese history was Patrice Lumumba, who led the country to independence from Belgium in 1960. Lumumba was a prominent anti-colonial activist and was elected as the first Prime Minister of Congo after independence. His tenure, albeit brief, left an indelible mark, advocating for the rights of the Congolese people. Tragically, he was overthrown in a coup d'état mere months after taking office. Yet, his legacy lives on as a symbol of resilience and determination. Lumumba is celebrated as a hero in Congo and across Africa for his pivotal role in securing independence from colonial rule. Leopold's legacy in Belgium is complex and divisive. On one hand, he is remembered as a visionary leader who modernized Belgium, playing a significant role in economic development, expanding the railway network, and modernizing the country's infrastructure. On the other hand, his involvement in the Congo has cast a dark stain on his legacy. His regime's brutal treatment of the Congolese people has been widely criticized, and his actions in the Congo have been described as nothing short of genocide. As we contemplate this dark chapter in history, we must not forget the remarkable resilience and courage of the Congolese people, who stood up against brutal colonial rule. From the early anti-slavery campaigns led by activists like Simon Kimbangu to the valiant uprising led by Patrice Lumumba, the people of Congo have consistently demonstrated their unwavering spirit. Their struggles serve as a stark reminder of the ongoing legacy of colonialism and its lasting impact on the world today. It's only through facing the past, seeking justice, and working toward reconciliation that we can hope to build a more equitable and just future for all. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Remember to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions on the impact of our shared past on our world today.